OnlyFans billionaire owner pockets $472 million dividend.
Is this an AI voice for Forbes? Is Forbes making AI videos?
The billionaire owner of OnlyFans,
maybe not,
earned more than $1.2 million a day from the social media subscription site best known for hosting adult content. Annual accounts for OnlyFans' British parent company, Phoenix International, show that the business paid a $472 million dividend to Radvinsky in 2023 after a surge in revenues and profits.
I mean, if you're crushing this hard, like if you're making, OnlyFans is owned by one person, right? Do they have venture funding at all? So like if you're pulling 6.6 billion in gross payments, no, yeah, your revenue is 1.3 billion. Okay, yeah, your revenue is 1.3 billion. So he's paying a half of that out to himself. That's crazy.
That's up from the previous year when the business paid Radvinsky a $338 million dividend.
He could only do this if he was 100% owner. Venture capitalists must be just like going crazy with how good that is.
The new financials
they must be so mad.
Show that transactions processed over the platform grew 18.9% to $6.6 billion in 2023.
Bro, this is why I'm not a big believer in VC. If you can actually manage to grow your company organically and hold on to your equity, you just can crush it so hard. Imagine if this guy had like 5% of the company left because he did like 3 rounds to get here. If he's like a Travis from Uber or something like that.
OnlyFans claims that around 80 cents of every dollar spent on the platform goes to its creators. Revenues also grew to $1.3 billion from $1 billion in 2022, and profits grew by a fifth to $485.4 million last year.
God damn.
That growth stemmed largely from non-subscription based revenues.
Yeah, for sure. So whenever we do adult campaigns and we activate OnlyFans creators, the amount of money they are making isn't even from their subs. The amount of money that OnlyFans girls make, all of their money comes from paid videos and like paid opportunities. So they go, okay, like I've got a new video series and you can bid to unlock the videos. And so I don't know why I'm telling you guys all this. You probably know how it works already, but you can bid to unlock the videos. And so you can bid like $100, $150, $200, whatever, and unlock the videos. And so there's 2 ways that the girls like monetize this. Okay. So the first way is that they do these things. That's what they mean by non-subscription revenue. And then the second thing they do is OnlyFans agencies hire full-time people to message their top subscribers and their top followers as the girls. So the girls, it's just some dude behind a keyboard, but they have like so the girls do photo shoots. They'll do a photo shoot for like a day or 2 and they'll get like 500 photos in different costumes and different stuff, all like, right? And then they'll get these full-time people to message the dudes. And then they'll be like, hey, oh, wow, like, yeah, do you want, like, a picture of me? And it's like, oh, like, yeah, I want you, like, I want a black bikini, goddamn, you know? I don't know how those people talk. I just assume they talk like that. And then, like, they're like, oh, well, yeah, I'll put on a black bikini for you. Like, here I go. And then, like, I don't know how these people talk. I just assume they talk like that. And then, like, they go through their fucking photos, and they're like, black bikini photos, send it. And this guy thinks he's, like, legitimately talking to the creator. But there's like 20 people doing this full time, except to unlock that image of the black the black bikini, right, is like $50 or whatever. So it's like, oh, I'll do the black bikini thing. That'll only be like $75. And then imagine this happening like every single second with like 3 full-time people going through your messages. And that's how the top girls are monetizing. Like, and they're just this prints. It prints. It's so much money. I actually had a friend of mine that having that as a full-time job. We had a hard time believing it. Yeah. No, it's just a dude that's messaging people as a girl. Like we've gone full circle back to like old school MMO days before Discord and before like TeamSpeak, where it's like, I'm a crazy night elf girl that can't wait. Do you have any great epic items for me? Like, we're just all the way back around. Like human nature never changes. It's all the same. We're just all the way back. And then this is going to become such a shit show when AI hits, because Now you're gonna not even know that the person you're talking to behind it is real, and you're gonna get voice logs and everything. Like already, a lot of like these OF girls are working on AI created voices that are trained on their likeness, and they're like super close. Like I think because a lot of people don't understand that the vast majority like we on the internet, most of you watching this stream are probably power users. So like if there's like a kind of 5 to 10% variance in a voice, you'll be able to probably pick up on it, and you'll be like, oh, that sounds like AI to me. But that realization like doesn't affect the 45-year-old divorced dude who's like the #1 subscriber for this like OnlyFans chick. That dude will never make that distinction. He'll just be like, oh my God, this girl's talking to me. And that will only become more true. That will only become more true until it's indistinguishable. Until you and I won't be able to detect the difference between an AI voice and a regular voice, I think inside of like a year or two. And so shit is going to get really fucking crazy when that happens. And we're not as far out from it as people think, trust me. But that's what, so when they're saying the non-subscription, long way of saying that when they say non-subscription revenue, that's what they mean. And it's like this crazy monetization status that's like OnlyFans has done a monetization style that kind of nobody has ever done in terms of like platform success. The only thing I could equate this to is TikTok, where TikTok does those like where you just like slam the button to like give money to people. You buy the credits up front, and that's how those NPC streams that came along, which I wasn't live streaming when those NPC streams came along. If I had been, you would have seen me talking a lot more about that, because that was such a fascinating trend where you'd have like the dude that's like, and the girl that's like, ice cream's so good, ice cream's so good. And like you have some fucking idiot like, on the other end like slamming like ice cream's so good, $5, $10, say ice cream, bitch, like go. You know, I don't know how they sound. I assume they sound that way. That is such a crazy thing that worked that way, you know? Jesus, like marketing is so interesting. Non-subscription revenue is so interesting. I have a short coming out about like TikTok, like and all that stuff. The NPC thing like is fascinating how that worked. Is so interesting. That terrifies you? Yeah. You and me both. I like legitimately stay up at night and I'm like, are we gonna be okay? And I don't know. Yeah, where I end up with all of the AI anxiety stuff is like, you know what I was thinking the other day before we keep doing this OnlyFans thing? Sorry, we'll go back to it. I'm worried about the state of the world right now. Like, it just feels like there's a lot of spooky stuff going on, right? I think that's safe to say. How many millions and millions of humans lived in like medieval villages and shit? And we're like, oh, when is the, because I'm worried about like apocalyptic shit. I wake up like worried about like nuclear war and shit. I wake up with anxiety like lately, especially lately. Again, like super anxious about it. And I'm like, how many villagers and like people, like imagine like being in like a tiny village and you're like, when are the barbarians gonna like run over my fucking town? And that being an ever-present threat. So I realized, this is just something I'm sharing with you guys like personally. It doesn't not like really related to anything. It's probably dumb, but like I realized that throughout humans' history, we've always probably lived with the feeling of impending doom. Whether it made infinitely, like it's not like the media cycle and whatever like makes it like, I don't even know if it makes it worse, because probably that concern and that worry was ever present. Going back where it's like we didn't understand like weather patterns and we're like, oh, the thunder gods are angry. Like that's probably a consistent human emotion. So I should think about more about how to just sort of live in that space. Like I should feel like, okay, if the sense of impending doom is something that human beings just live with, then like I should get better about processing that. Just something that I'm thinking about. That I guess, yeah, I don't know. Because it's not a new thing, you know? I still wanted to ask what LLM would you recommend for the general user? ChatGPT, for sure. 4.0, I think, outperforms pretty much everything for general use case. Like, today it's AI, it's nukes, it's whatever, but like, you know, 500 years ago it was fucking polio, or like, oh, I hear the rats are spreading plague, and like, half of my neighbors are dead. Like, it's like, Yeah, if it's outside your control, you shouldn't work yourself up about it. Yeah, and now I'm gonna practice that. That'll be like my focus, like my meditation focus for the next like few weeks. And now back to OnlyFans.
Up from $567.6 million in 2022. Subscription revenue recorded a more modest increase of $540.8 million.
Oh, that was an increase? That wasn't total?
Videos that grew to $765 million in
Grew
2023.
too.
Up from $567.6
Okay, so
million
$200 million
in 2022.
more.
Subscription revenue recorded a more modest increase of $540.8 million from $522.1 million in 2022. The total number of
How do you learn to meditate? I'm pausing the OnlyFans video because this is an important question. You can go to any school. It's the great thing about Buddhism, and sorry if I sound like a Buddhist shill, I am. I remember my bias. I'm a very devout Zen Buddhist, so keep in mind that bias. All Buddhism is free. Nobody will ever charge you for anything. You can literally show up in any school you want, and they'll teach you to meditate. They'll be happy to do it. And they won't they shouldn't, if they do, leave, but they shouldn't impose any weird belief systems on you or anything like that.
Subscribers on the platform.
Just the meditation.
Increased.
You can look into things like Vipassana, you can look into Zen meditation, you can look into Anapanasati, some stuff like that.
28% from about 240 million to 305 million.
Woo!
While the number of OnlyFans creators
60 million
jumped 29%. From 3.2 million.
Oh, that's actually a really
million.
Interesting ratio. I always like to look at those ratios on platforms.
From about 240 million to 305 million.
So the subscribers went up 60 million.
While the number of OnlyFans creators jumped 29% from 3.2 million to 4.1 million.
There's so much more room on OnlyFans. There's so much more room to create on this platform. That's something interesting about platforms that a lot of people don't realize. If you look at the number of people that consistently create is actually really small on most platforms. So if you look at the number of people that have uploaded 7 or more YouTube videos, it's like because a lot of times people are like, oh, there's too many YouTubers, I can't start a YouTube channel. But they don't realize that there are a ton of YouTubers, right? But there aren't a lot of consistent YouTubers. There's very few of those. So the number of people that are watching and consuming content is so much greater than the number of people that are actually consistent creating. So you always have room. That's one of the reasons why Twitch is such a bad platform to get started on, is because there are the streamer to viewer ratio, which you can find actually if you go to a website like Solinome, you'll see a number called viewer ratio. That's right here. For people that can't see it, I guess I'll boof it a little bit. The number right here. And the problem with this number is this means that there's 25 viewers for every one streamer. That's not very good, right? That means that if you consider a successful stream to be 400 or 500 viewers, that means that's basically impossible for the average broadcaster, right? So with a platform like YouTube, there are that number looks more like God, it's thousands per potential. So that's why it's always better to look at the ratio of viewers, and people that think oh, I can't be a content creator, oh, I can't do this. You absolutely can, because number one, the number of people that are consistently uploading, it's something less than 2% of podcasts have ever here, I can find the data if people are interested. I can find the specific stats, but it's something less than 2% of podcasts ever get past 7 episodes, and something less than 5% of YouTube channels ever get past 7 videos uploaded. So people always think of oh, there's so many creators on YouTube, but they don't realize that there's almost no one that does it consistently. If all you do is just make a lot of stuff. Yeah, so someone's saying on OnlyFans it's 75 per creator. Yeah, right. It's way better than Twitch, but consider how many OnlyFans girls start a page, make 1 or 2 photos, and then leave. Almost all of them, right? So again, there's so much room for creators. A lot of people tend to live in scarcity, but that's just not true. There's so much room for creators, so much more. We need creators, we need people on these platforms. I have I have people at YouTube and people at Twitch telling me this all the time. Yeah, it's 20 podcast episodes is the top 0.5%. This is why if you go look at my shorts videos and stuff, I have a lot of motivational videos about how you don't have to work hard. It's because it's backed by these stats. The number of people that have actually literally just consistently uploaded anything is like so few. Well, Twitch always says there's room. Sorry, yeah, that was a misspeech. Twitch has its own problems. Sorry, I mean people at YouTube have told me that. Twitch has its own issues. I don't think anybody at Twitch like that I talk to like really cares about or understands this ratio. This is like a kind of pretty meta topic. If I were Dan Clancy, the CEO of Twitch, I would be looking at this number really carefully, but this is not how Twitch dictates its success. Twitch themselves really only dictate their success via hours watched. Their only definition of success is like how many people are coming into the platform and how many people are spending their time on the platform. So like to them, getting this hours watched number up is a better metric than anything else, and they don't really pay attention to anything else. So they don't care about peak viewers, they don't care about number of streams. But if you were very sophisticated, what you should be looking at is what is the actual distribution of viewers to streamers on my platform, because then I can determine that it's more likely these people are going to watch longer because the distributions are healthier and there's more interesting streams for them to discover. If this number gets higher, it means that viewers are more interested on average in streams than normal. And the problem is that if you go to Twitch, right, and you like look at the directory, all of the people that are watching streams are watching these same streams every single day. Like if you watch Zach War, your 43,000 viewers are watching Zach. You're just watching Zach do this every single day. You're watching Shroud every single day. You're watching Hassan every single day. And that's why this number is low, because all of the viewer ratio is top heavy to these broadcasters, the kingmakers, right? Versus if you are a healthy website and this number is higher, you distribute it across a greater number of creators, if that makes sense. That's how that works. So OnlyFans or like YouTube are like healthier because viewership is more distributed over platforms, giving over creators, giving the platform a more healthy kind of atmosphere because they're like viewers are consuming way more stuff on average than just single streamers. Would it be more advantageous for Twitch for smaller creators to have higher averages? Yeah, of course, because that would mean that more viewers are finding those streams and finding them interesting. So the healthiest ecosystem for Twitch is for like the average streamer to have like 50 to 100 viewers, which would mean that, and the reason that doesn't happen is because Twitch's discovery is dog shit. So Twitch doesn't allow you to discover those streamers, so you would never know. Like, this is really easily demonstratable, right? Go to any category. I automatically go to Path of Exile because that's my jam. But let's go to a bigger one to advocate this. Go to GTA, right? And you see the Kingmakers here have 14,000, 12,000, whatever. By number 5, it drops off dramatically. This guy only has 4.8. Tell me how a person down here gets discovered on Twitch without any other like help, like YouTube or whatever. It's just not possible, right? So they have an unhealthy distribution of viewers on these streams because Twitch's discovery is bad. They can't get discovered, which is not true on YouTube. It's not true on OnlyFans and etc. They have way better discovery systems for what you want. So a healthier distribution across these streamers, like ideally Twitch would have some kind of algorithmic data like TikTok or like any other platform that would just drive you to this broadcast because it just turns out that you are the type of viewer that would really enjoy this, so you get recommended it. But Twitch's recommendation system is a joke, and they don't have any of that data.
States accounts for the bulk of the London-based company's revenues, totaling some $863 million in 2023.
Damn, that's like 80% is US. That's crazy.
Europe and the rest of the world account for $443.2 million. The profits are extraordinary, given that OnlyFans' parent company claims to now have just 42 full-time employees.
1.3 billion on 42 employees, man. Good Lord.
Down from 52.
The average employee is worth like
it recorded in its 2022 accounts. Radvinsky, a U.S. citizen who was born in Ukraine and started his career running porn referral websites, has taken $1 billion in dividends from OnlyFans over the last 3 years. Forbes now estimates Radvinsky's wealth at $3.8 billion. In 2018, Radvinsky bought the then much smaller OnlyFans site from its British founders Tim Stokely and his father Guy Stokely.
Imagine being those founders.
The sites boomed during the pandemic, largely as a showcase for pornographic material, but moved to ban sexually explicit content in August 2021 after coming under pressure from bank and credit card companies following reports it had hosted child sexual abuse content.
That would have been the absolute worst decision OnlyFans could have made, would be to ban pornography. I totally understand why they did it, though.
OnlyFans reversed course just a few weeks later, saying it had, quote, secured assurances necessary to support our diverse creator community. The initial announcement of OnlyFans'
Didn't I do a video on why they did that?
pivot drew heavy criticism from the site's creators and sex work advocates. The British media regulator, Ofcom, opened an investigation into OnlyFans' age verification measures in May after the company revealed a, quote, technical glitch meant its minimum age threshold was set to 20 years old instead of 23. A separate Reuters investigation, published in...
Is it always just chargeback stuff that makes companies try to go away from pornography? No, it's not chargebacks. It's that this is a really interesting topic. I won't go too deep into it, but banking is a massive mafia. And so one of the things so banks are beholden to many different regulations, especially international banks. So if payment processors, one of the regulations they have is that they can't transmit adult content. So like if you're using Stripe, which is the main payment processor, Stripe can't transfer any adult payments or they get in trouble with the banks. And we can get into why the regulations for the banks are that way, but like don't need to. Suffice to say that the transactions that Stripe oversees cannot be adult-based content. When they find out that there is adult-based content and you get kicked off of Stripe or equivalent payment processor platforms, you have to start going to much seedier platforms that can handle adult content. And the difference in transaction fees is like crazy. Like on Stripe, you might pay like 1% to 2% on or less on like $100, but on a adult platform transaction website payment processor, you'll pay like 8% to 9%. So like $8 to $9 on $100. It's like literally 8 times more. So that adds up really quick for those companies, and that is why OnlyFans was like, "Holy shit, we're being kicked off of our payment processor." So if we don't like figure out a way to fix this, we are gonna have to like literally we're out of business. So that's why they temporarily were like, "Okay, we're gonna go to like some other thing." This happened to like tons of people. Like Tumblr got kicked off. Like basically, if you've been operating with adult content for a couple of years, you eventually will get caught by a payment processor. Though we've actually had situations where we have had to use adult payment processors because we're paying creators for adult stuff for our brands, and then we get flagged by Stripe and they kick us off. So that's happened quite a few times. The big banks are pretty scary. They're real scary. I thought the reason that banks went away from adult stuff was chargebacks. No, it's like a holier than thou type of thing. The banks are in with like the U.S. government and with like the big government, and they don't want to be associated with adult content because of how that looks from a legislative point of view. Do you have any opinion on the class action lawsuit someone is trying against OF on DMing creators means you're DMing a call center employee? They're trying to argue it's fraud. That's going to come down to like government, individual government. So I think we just have to see how it plays out. How does Pornhub get money then? They pay a huge amount in adult processing fees. So like all porn websites pay a huge amount in processing fees. Huge amount. Like crazy, like 8 to 9% of their income. It's just a cost of doing business for adult companies. Now Pornhub still prints money like crazy, right? Because people are still like the cost of producing pornography and hosting pornography is low, and the margin is quite high on people that will pay premium for it. Isn't a lot of adult content gang affiliated owned for laundering? Yes, it is.
140 instances in which men and women complained sexually explicit content had been posted without their consent. Still, OnlyFans seems intent on broadening itself beyond the sex industry. In 2021, the company launched OFTV, a YouTube-style video streaming platform promoting, quote, safe for work videos.
Yeah,
on fitness.
I don't think they're interested in expanding beyond pornography at all. I think this is like when you have so much money and you literally don't have to make any updates to the website. You have like 42 employees doing nothing. They just do shit like this.
Cooking and music hosted by OnlyFans creators.
And also this just boosts, like having girls on a platform doing normal stuff just boosts people back to their OnlyFans, right? If only there was a platform where that happened on, a platform where like you could live stream safe for work content and then it could drive people in a funnel to your OnlyFans. Yeah, can't think of a platform like that, huh?
For full coverage, check out Ian Martin's piece on Forbes.com.
Thanks.
This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes.
Good topic. Good find. Yeah, OnlyFans is insane.